Dave also spoke to Tony Elumelu, the Chairman of Heirs Holdings, and asked him about the symbolism of the inaugural summit.
For me, it goes beyond even the discussion and celebrations going on here. It's the symbolism of this meeting African leaders and U.S. leaders, U.S. business leaders, U.S. government leaders, African business leaders, U.S. government leaders sitting together in one room discussing about how to improve the relationship, the commercial business relationship between America and Africa. It's wonderful, it's very unique, it's one that we must all take advantage of. The African private sector business leaders should take advantage of this to invest and to cut new friendship and new partners. The American business leaders should see this moment an opportunity to identify credible and good African business leaders who understand how to do business on the continent. The U.S. government must seize this as an opportunity to catch up with others who are doing quite a lot already to support or to partner with Africa. And the African government also must do more in terms of commitment to reform programs that will help prepare our operating environment to be conducive to attract foreign investment, in fact even local investment.
He also asked Mr. Elumelu, one of Africa's best-known bankers, about what kind of change in business in Africa he expects from ties with the U.S.
I am optimistic that 5 years down the line, 5 years down the line, something significant will come out of this, because in this 21st century, the kind of African private sector leaders we have, different from the time we had 20 years ago. You have African private sector leaders who have capital to invest, who are not just fronting for companies. You have private sector African leaders who have come to this kind of summit with intelligence and with competence, who have come with confidence, confidence born out of track record that they have proven. If you look at our group, we committed $2.5 billion to the Power Africa initiative. We have started investment. We have acquired a power plant in the country, Nigeria. When we took over the plant November 1 last year, the power output was 150 megawatts. Today, this morning, the power output was 453 megawatts. That is a tripling of the output. This is happening and did not happen today. It did not happen 10, 20 years ago. So this is the kind of African leaders that have come to this summit. So if you look at the seriousness of African private sector leaders, as I've talked about, who have competency, demonstrated track record, who have resources to co-invest, and if you also look at the seriousness of African government as they are now committed to strong reform programs, and if you look at the support of America, then we don't need any rocket scientists to know that in 3 to 5 years time things will show significantly for what is happening here today.
From the American side, the private sector, there's a number of company heads that are visiting here today as well. Has there been positive response from them that you've picked up in your capacity?
Yes, a couple of American private sector business leaders have been asking for meetings with me. My secretary, my executive assistants are very busy trying to schedule meetings. This kind of thing didn't happen in the past. So if we in Africa, the African private sector leaders, were in doubt about how seriously the world takes us, what is happening here demonstrates that it's a new dawn in a new era. And we end it. We have ended because we have put our money, we have invested in Africa. We are no longer folding our hands and waiting for someone to give us aid money. And if you look at what is happening, here we are talking about investment, we're talking about trade. We're talking about access to electricity. We're not talking about malaria to eradicate malaria. We're not talking of political instability. We're discussing issues because we have crossed some of that stage. We still need humanitarian support here and there, but let that not be the mainstream. Let that not be the main focus about Africa. The Africa of today is Africa that is a good investment destination. We want partners to come invest in Africa.